So our Docker is ready on AWS EC2 instance, and now we'll proceed further to set up Jenkins as well. For installing that Jenkins, we have to go to a website. So everything you will find, whatever we have done, each and everything. There are like other resources as well, which is being used, but this is all we have got. So this is the complete tutorial. You can have a look at it as well. You have to scroll down and reach to this particular location, which is downloading and installing Jenkins. Okay. So we are going to start with the very first command, which is sudo yum update white. Now let's go back to command prompt and paste it over here. You can paste it by right clicking on it. So what I did is I just selected this piece, did control C. So go back to your command prompt and you can just right click over here and that will be pasted and hit on enter. So there is no such thing required, so no update is needed, everything is fine. So it was a kind of prerequisite we do before setting up anything. Now you have to add the Jenkins repo using the following command. So I have copied this again, pasted over here, click on enter. So it has requested and we have got 200 OK and this got set up. Now we will be setting up the key for Jenkins CI to enable installation. Paste it. So it's all about how we have so many commands and we have to be in the sequence obviously. Let's do some upgrades. So this is we have. So we were actually checking if there is any update required in the Jenkins. That is the latest one again. So this we have already done. Let me do it again. Java 17 installation. So it is saying it is already installed. So you can note this as well. Or you might be doing it at this level as well, not a problem. And skipping at the very first. It's time to install the Jenkins. So this is the command. So sudo yum install Jenkins and Y is for saying it yes directly or it will ask you again whether yes or no. If you are very much sure, you can directly say yes. Otherwise, it will again ask you to whether you want to install it or not. Okay. So this is done. Now we have to enable the Jenkins services. So this is the command. Paste it over here. It has created one symlink. So we have enabled the Jenkins service to start at boot. Now we will start it as service by this command. Now the very last command we have is this one. Okay, so this is saying your things are ready, enabled, active, running. This is the password which I'm going to use to setting up the account in Jenkins. And it is saying this may also be found at this particular location. Let's start. So as we did for Docker, same way we are going to do with the Jenkins start as well. So we have taken the EC2 instance IP from here. And for Docker, we added 4444 port, which was the Docker's port. Now the default port for Jenkins is 8080. So that we are going to add colon 8080 and click on enter. So and see what you have got. We are just starting with the Jenkins piece. And over here you will find this link which is talking about you will find the password from here. You can go over here. I have already copied it from here and from the command prompt. So this is what I have got from here. Okay, so you can just select it and right click. This will be copied and right click on this input box. So this is a web based, so you have to paste it like this only. Then you have to click on continue. So it is asking you for two options whether to install suggested plugin or go with the select plugin to install. So I will go with the install suggested plugin. By default, it is going to install. So this is a place where you will be reaching out As soon as your all the installation is done, let's say I put admin. So you will just add all of your details like username, password, confirm password, full name and email address. Click on save and continue. So it will by default give you that URL which includes the IP of your instance, and along with that which we have given 8080, which is the default port of this. Click on save and finish. Start using Jenkins. This is your dashboard of Jenkins, and here you have to go to manage Jenkins. Go to tools. So over here, go down and you have to provide all the details of where this JDK is located, and you will be providing the details of Git over here. And as we are using Maven, and that also we will be required to provide the details. So first of all, let's talk about JDK. So I will click on add JDK, and over here with the name, I will be giving name as Java underscore home. The way we give the environment variables, and over here I will be providing the path of Java. So this will be the path to Java, which you can get it from the executable path command. You don't have to check on this particular checkbox called as install automatically. Okay, go down and you will be checking out this Git. So we have to provide the Git path here. We got a Git path from Git execute path command. You can just paste it over here. Don't click on install automatically. The last option which we have to provide is add Maven. Over here you have to add Maven underscore home. Uncheck this one, and over here you will be providing the Maven path. So these three items we have to provide like this. Click on apply. Now you will be going to plugins option and go to available plugins. Go to Maven integration option. Click on this one and click on install, and this will be installed in few seconds. So this is done. Download progress is done, and that's all about setting up things. Let's go back. Now we have to go to new item. Click on the new item option. Here you can name your project name whichever you want. Let's say I name it as WebDriver Test Project. And as we are using Maven project, so you have to go with this. Click on OK. So you're on this page and you have to configure this. So your source code will be coming from the Git option. So here you have to provide the repository. Just go down and you will be looking at the pom.xml file, which is fine. Then you have to write the goal and option. So you have to provide the command called as clean test. So now go down and apply and save it. So still the configuration is left where we have to add the Git repo over here. So for that we have to install Git in our system so that we can push our one of the projects from a local machine to the Git environment. We have a setup of Git in our machine. If we're looking at it, we can just check it on our machine where we have Git bash here. So this is the option called as Git bash. So this you can install it by going to over the website called as Git download, something like that. You can search, go directly to this download option, and whichever machine you are using, if you are using Windows, Linux, Mac OS, you can choose any of these. You can download it from here as well. As soon as you download it, like this, so you have to click on this or either this. So you have to go to this location and double click on this. A simple exe setup which you do usually on machines. Just have to do next, and in the very last click on finish and you're good to go. I already have Git in my machine, so this is how it will look like. You just have to search it over here, say Git, and you will find these two three options saying Git bash, Git GUI, and CMD. We will be focusing on Git bash only, which is going to help us to provide the commands on the Git machine, and this will push our code to the GitHub. So this is what we are going to follow. So I have created one. test case here, which we can use for running it on my AWS machine. What we have to do is we have to take this project to the GitHub repo. So for doing that, first of all, we have to see where this particular project is located, and we just reach out to that project by going to the properties and going to the proper location of it, double click on it, and as we have already installed Git and for providing the commands of Git, we have to use Git bash. So how we can do that? We have to reach to this particular project, and under this, within this project, in the blank space, we have to right click on it. Look for the option called as Git. Open Git bash here. Just update the size of it. Go to options and look. Go to text. Go to the select option. Change it to some bigger number, and you can see it. Close this all. Now it's visible. So what we have to do is we have to start with integrating this with Git, this particular blank. So what we have to do is we have to bring this particular project to the Git workspace. So how we can start with it? We have to first provide a command called as git init. So it is initialized as empty dot. So it has initialized one empty Git repository. So this particular project has become a repository now. So it is a kind of .git file which is being added over here, which is hidden. You can't see it. And that if you want to see it, you have to unhide everything and then you can place it as well. Okay, so this is done. Now we can see what all items we have which we can push to our project. So all the files which you see over here has been listed over here as well. So what we have to do, we will be taking only those files which are important, not all of them. So the important files are my test case, form.xml, and the testng.xml. So what I have to do, I will say git add. The command is also suggested over here and form.xml. Space and paste it here. This got added, then you can add src as well. And then you can check whether these two has been added or not. Okay, so we have got this form.xml file added, then we have this particular test case added, and one testng.xml added. So these are the three files which are important. Rest I don't want to add. Okay, then this is enough to which are okay. These are the files which are enough to run it on via run it from Git. Okay, so this is done. Then so now I will be taking you to my GitHub account. So this is my GitHub account. I will be creating a new repo here, and you can name it anything with web driver on AWS. So any name, whatever you feel like is suitable, you can just name it. Option public or private, you will go with public as we have to add it into our project as well. Even you can add private as well, but let's keep it public so that even you can use it and access it if you want. And rest is okay if you want to add a README file, what exactly this project do, then that also if you want, you can add. Click on create repo. So my public repo is created. And if you just go down, there are like certain commands which has been provided here. So this seems to be quite known that we have already used git init. So we have actually added the file. So it is suggesting us to add a basic readme, but we have added our required file. So this is done. Then we have commit command, which help us to commit the very first files which we want. So we will follow these steps only. You can just follow these steps. If you are very new to Git, then that is not a problem. You can just follow these, and that will be enough. You can explore Git in a certain different old course, which you can take at certain different places on YouTube. So this is what I got. There are like three files, and there were like 204 lines of code. And these three are the files which we are able to commit, and this is all we needed. Okay, so commit is done. Let's see what is the next step we have. Then we have a get branch m main. If you want, you can change your main branch to this name, or by default it is coming as master. Either is fine. Let's keep it as this these line of commands only. So I will change it to main now. So let's paste this as well. This is also done. Then we have this particular project which is on GitHub, which is we have just created named as WebDriver Test on AWS. So what we want is we want our own local project, this one, to be integrated with the project which is on the GitHub. So for doing that, this is a command we have got, which is saying git remote add origin and the name of the git project. So which is ending with the .git only. So this you can copy and do the same thing, paste it over here, hit enter, and in the very last, if you do this push command, then it will take you to the all your changes, all your files which you wanted. I wanted like three files here. I will take all these three files to the GitHub project of mine. Okay, so this is a command, and if you just refresh as soon as this is done, so this one more thing it is going to ask you. So as soon as you push the command, if you have multiple accounts as I have, or maybe a single as well, it is asking you whether which account you want to go with. I want to go with this 12G1, which is username as well. So this is my username and this is what I want to follow with. Rest two are other my accounts. So you will only be getting I think one account, but this is they will be asking you to go with. So you can select this one and see if we are able to push our code or not. Yeah, we are able to push our code 100%. All these threads and everything has been gone. Let's go back to our project again and refresh. Yeah, so we have got these two files got added, and in SRC test we have this test case as well as the AWS runner. Then we have a form file. So we're just talking about this SRC test resource runner test ng file. So they should be integrated with each other. Form XML as well as the testng.xml. So this is done by via this Surefire plugin. So this is very important piece to provide to the code. And as you know already that these are the dependencies of all the different types of library which you wanted to integrate. And this being your test case. And this is our URI for this particular instance. And this is the port. And this was working outside. Let's see if we can do it with over here. We are done with pushing all our code on the GitHub account. We will be going back to the project. So over here, if you see this particular option called as code, and there is a drop down over here, you will find one .git option project in the over here, which is helping us to clone the code as well. And this is your Git URL, I would say, which you can just copy it from here. Go back to your Jenkins. And over here, what you are going to do, you will be providing this Git repo over here as we have already added it. There is a small change I did over here. So when I was trying to add a get URL, it was throwing me an error. So what I did is I went back to dashboard. I went back to my manage Jenkins where I have configured the tools. Just go down and there is one more thing I have to add over here, a slash and a get in the path of the get. Right. So it was before till get underscore get dash code. I just added this dash get as well. So you can add this as well. And rest is fine. You can just save it. Go back to dashboard again. Go to your project and coming to the configure piece, you can just add your get URL coming down. And as you have changed the branch with the commands, so the main branch is now MAIN that you can see in the project as well. So this is your main branch and the only branch as of now, which is default and that you have placed over here and coming to the command. So in the root form, you are going to provide form.xml and the ON option, you are going to provide clean test, apply, save and click on build now. Build a schedule. Let's see if this is going to work for us. So the code which I have written on the local, then I move it to see it on the Docker. Then now we can see it whether it is working on the AWS machine. If you want, you can click on it and see how does it is working. You can go through the console output as well. So it is working for the very first time, so it is going to take a bit of time. So many downloads from Maven has been taken care of, and this is what you have got. It has success, successfully passed, and build is success, finish success, and we are good to go. And let's see, get back to your dashboard and see if we got that build successfully done. And again, if you want to go through, then you can go to the console. Like so it has basically installed each and everything. So that is why there are like so many line of code. And in the very end, you can see your successful run has been done. And this is what your title is, which has been printed. If you want to run it again, you can run it again by just clicking on the build now again. So it is running again and it will not take more time now because it has already installed the rest of the piece before in the first run itself. So it has quickly ran and you can just have a look at it. So this is working on Jenkins on AWS instance. And one more thing you can do if you don't want to run it manually by clicking on build now again and again. What you can do, you can configure it in a way where whenever there is a new change coming up in the repo and it is going to trigger automatically. For that, what you have to update is go down and click on this fold SCM. This is again in the configure section of the project itself. And over here, you can put 5 stars, 5, and that should be having a space in between. So you have to put a space as well. So what exactly the schedule you want, whether you want to check your particular repo every minute or every hour if there is any change, month, days, all of that. So according to that, you have to provide the number. I'm actually providing a change, so I just want to see whether it is going to see it quickly in a minute or so. So I have taken this 5 times star. Even you can take in this way as well, like H15 if you want to check it in 15 minutes, if in 10 minutes, every 2 hours, weekdays. There are so many combinations you can provide. Okay, so depending on different time zones also you can add the numbers. So there are like lots of variety we have, how you want to run it. As of now, just I want to see every minute if there is any change coming or not. So you have to put 5 stars like this with a space in between and click on apply, save, and you're good to go. Now, if you're going to do any changes in your code, let's say I will do a small change in the project. So I will go back to my project, I copy this code, and I will write my name here. Okay, so I've added one new line of code. Okay, and if you go back to your Git bash, you can see all these changes which you have done on the local machine will be available in the stage space. So you can check it by putting a command called as get status. So you will find a new file is being modified, which is named as this. So we have just done that by adding a line of code. So how we can do that? You can put again this git add and the file name only. Otherwise, everything will be added if you put a dot. So if you want to add everything, you will be adding git space add space dot. And if you want to be specific with the file name, you will be doing this one. Okay, so this file is added. Then again, if you do status, this is modified. Now things has been placed here in the stage. Now you have to bring it to the repo in the GitHub. So there were some commands which we followed. Like then we checked whether the status has been changed or not. Now we did a commit. So this is my commit command. So we can do it again over here. So I will change the commit command message. Actually, commit command will remain same. Message to second commit and hit on enter. One file change, one insertion is done. Then this command is already done where you have integrated both the local and the remote machine. Now you can directly push your changes. So I will copy this and paste it over here again. So this line was a one-time effort, get remote add origin. So this was the integration already done. Then now we are pushing everything to the main. Every time we are going to push, it is going to ask you for the count mostly. So you have to choose one of them, which is your the relevant one. Let me choose that 12G1. This is my, I have chosen, then this is being pushed from main of local to main of GitHub. Okay, so this is done. The same thing now will be reflected in the GitHub account as well. So if I do refresh, instead of first commit, it has changed to second commit, which is the latest one, which has just got commit 1 minute ago. And you can see all the commits over here as well. First commit, second commit, and go back to the code and see if the changes is reflecting here as well. So in the test case itself, you have added some line of code in the end, which is saying Hemant Gandhi. And now if you trace, you have to wait for a minute and you will find automatically a new build has been integrated. I have not clicked on the build button and it is automatically being triggered. Okay, so what is happening here is as soon as you do the changes and the process which we have planned in a way, it is going to trace every minute. So this is how your build has been ran without clicking on the build option manually. So this is how we are able to integrate our code along with the Jenkins process. So as soon as whatever has been changes has been done, it is going to automatically run the project for us. So that is what we needed. Automatically things should work and this is happening now with us. Okay, so all these details, when happened, what all happened. So if in case, if someone is going to fail, it will show you some red color and all of that. As of now, it is fine. So all of them are like good yellow color gone. Then if there are multiple failures and success are less and failures are more, then you will be getting the option of different weather icon, which is will be cloudy or something over there. Okay, so this is what we have, how we can see Jenkins running on the AWS machine for our project, and this is how we can manage everything over there.